My name is Louis Talley, and today I'm going to talk about why you need situational awareness graphics in your HMI. Let's first begin by talking about the difference between data versus information. Information comes when you put a context into the data that you're looking at. So imagine, if you will, a numerical value without any context associated with it. That's not information. So the value you see on the screen, 989.7, what does that mean in the overall context of where that piece of information lies? So if that were something in the process, like a process variable, how far is that from set point? Is it in its optimal range? Is it getting close to alarming? Has it emerged from alarming? What are the alarm limits? Is it inside of its normal operating range? What is a trend of that value over the past X amount of time, 15 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours? Is it trending down? Is it trending up? Best case, this is inconvenient. Worst case, this can lead to misinformation of operators and poor decision making within the process, which can cost lots of money or even accidents. So this is an example of a situational awareness graphic that's part of the Orchestra Graphics environment. That's a built-in meter that takes the concept that you just saw on the previous screen a few steps further. So now we have that same value, this represented by a different numerical value, 123.4. If we look at this, we see a lot of additional information wrapped around this particular piece of data. So I can see, of course, the numerical value, but I can also see its alarm limits. So if I had limit level alarming, I could turn on the high, the low, and the low. But I can also see things like the optimal range or what the set point was. So how far is this from set point? I can show a trend, so we'll see that. So now let's take a look at an actual software demo and compare and contrast the differences between traditional graphics versus situational awareness graphics. Here you see a traditional HMI screen that represents a process. So if you'll notice the overloaded use of colors, what do the different colors mean? Does red mean something's running? Does red mean something's open? Does red mean that I want to initiate something or something is required? I appear to have something blinking that indicates that I've got something in alarm, but there's an inconsistent use of color throughout the application. Not only that, this display is distracting. So if I very quickly needed to get to the bottom of a problem, or if something was trending towards a problem, would I be able to do that with traditional HMI graphics? So let's look at this same graphic with situational awareness graphics. So what jumps out at me right away is the lack of color. And in this case, the only time you should use color is to draw the operator's eye to the attention of the abnormal condition within the process. So in this case, my turbidity is high, and so I'm taking advantage of something called the alarm border that just indicates that the piece of equipment or the process value that I'm looking at is in alarm. And so you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, you'll notice that represents the criticality of the alarm. So I can very quickly see where a problem is. So if we start over at the left of the screen, we can see how the material flows through the system. We can see very quickly that my pump is running, that my valve is open, 3/4 or 75%. I can even see a trend of what the tank levels were, and all of that is built into the situational awareness graphics. So I don't have to go add this. These are just native parts of the graphic. So we also have things like the polar star that indicates a large amount of analog information. So in this case, I can very quickly, very easily see that my turbidity is high because the set point, as shown here, the process value is outside of where the set point is. So if I were at a distance, I wouldn't have to, walk up to this HMI and understand where is turbidity relative to where it's supposed to be. I can look at the polar star. And so polar stars can be used to represent large numbers of analog pieces of information to very quickly see the potential source of a problem. So this is just one example of how situational awareness graphic can help you understand where problems may exist in your application and also bring more contextual information to your data. Instead of just having a numerical value, I can see what that value is, what the trend of it is, if it's in alarm, how close is it to its alarm set points, things like that. Thanks for taking the time to watch today. If you have any questions or would like some additional information concerning the situational awareness graphics that are part of the InTouch HMI, don't hesitate to give us a call or contact us at the email shown on the screen. Thanks again for watching.